Alright, what's up everyone? Make sure I'm not kicking the tripod there. Today we're going to take a look at Goldeneye 007, a classic, truly an inspirational game for those who were around to play it. Goldeneye 007, what more needs to be said? Let's go. Man, this game, I remember playing it for the first time. I believe it was sometime in 1997, and it was at a St. Louis Best Buy. And the moment I laid my hands on that controller, I knew this game was going to be a classic. I mean, I knew that this game was going to be like the next big thing. And it exceeded all of my expectations. I mean, this game ended up, everyone knows about this game. Everyone who plays N64 knows about Goldeneye 007. I would honestly, I consider Super Mario 64 to be one of the most classic and culturally relevant historical games of all time, but I would honestly put Goldeneye 007 right next to Super Mario 64. This game plus Super Mario 64 is kind of what made the N64 such a force to be reckoned with. Okay, so here we go. Notice that I'm playing 007 mode, which means I can alter the stats of my enemies. I used to enjoy doing, let's start out with something familiar. I would make it like License to Kill, but with a sense of urgency. So health 0, damage 1000%, accuracy 100%, they never miss, and reaction speed 100%. Not only do they never miss, but they hit you so fast. To compensate, I make it even. If your damage is 1000%, which it is, if your accuracy is 100%, which is up to you, and if your reaction speed is 100%, which is again up to you, it's an even playing field. The only thing is, you're playing on their turf, which means you have to be careful. I tell you, if there's one thing that's going to make you really good at playing Goldeneye, it's playing like this. There's no room to mess up. He's down. There's one other guy in the bathroom. Oh, no, there's two. No, there's 3. Keep going. I'll get it right eventually. Okay, wait, no. I want what he's carrying. Want to stay with the silencer as long as possible. I forget it's not like perfect dark. You have to actually hold on to the button when you crouch. And this is where I'm probably gonna die. Okay, key card. This way should be clear. Yeah, see, I don't even know where that came from. Just flash and you're dead. There's no playing around on this mode. Anyway. Another thing I always liked to do was just to play around. I can't take full credit for this. I used to play this game with my friend Jeff, you know, all the time. And we used to do things like this just to keep it interesting. Just go around and blowing up, exploding all of the poor, helpless soldiers without them knowing you're there. See, I want remote mine. This is so fun because you can really get them flying far if you get it just right. That probably won't do anything. Yep. That probably won't do much. But you know, being invincible and invisible is a lethal combination. Boom! There's definitely an art to doing this. You know, the physics is based on where exactly, you know, it is in relation to them. This one's always a fun one. You can get really creative with this, and you can also put proximity mines so they can like be catapulted into the proximity mine. They never open the door for you when you want them to. I always like it here. Have them trade sides into two walls of fire. You can get some good distance with this one. Keep in mind that, you know, we were doing this back in the late 90s when explosions were still like the coolest thing in the world. Anyway. turn all of this off. The real truth of the matter is that I wanted to do some snow levels for this session because as the time of I'm recording this, it's close to Thanksgiving, but by the time it airs, it'll be closer to Christmas, and I kind of wanted to really embrace the possibilities there. You know, there's no shortage of snow levels to play on the Nintendo consoles. And I wanted to kind of go after that for this session and the other sessions that I'm going to be recording in the very near future. I wanted to do some snow levels, and I figured let's go with the flow a little bit. The N64 is hot right now as far as amongst retro gamers, so let's just do an N64 snow level. And this was one of the first things that came to mind. Actually, the first one that came to mind was Super Mario 64, but unfortunately I can't do that today because I have an expansion pack in my N64, which if you don't know is an upgrade from the jumper pack that came with the N64. They put out the expansion pack so as to be able to play some of the more hardware intensive games such as Perfect Dark and Conker's Bad Fur Day and Star Wars Rogue Squadron or whatever it's called. So that was why they did that, you know, sort of a hardware upgrade, but it's incompatible with certain old school N64 games. One of those games happens to be Super Mario 64, and I can't find my old jumper pack, which means I probably need to buy one on eBay or something. So I went with a different game instead of Super Mario 64, unfortunately. Okay, so what am I supposed to be doing? Maybe in hindsight it wasn't such a great idea to use the loudest gun ever made. Live and learn, hopefully. This is the part where you fall down. Mortal Kombat, the movie, man. At the time, you know, my friends and I thought it was like the coolest thing ever. And as far as movies based off of video games go, it does kind of hold up 20 years later. But except for the CG, the horrible 90s CG. I mean, you know, anything that was before Star Wars Episode 1, aside from Jurassic Park, was just awful. I mean, I can't think of very many computer-generated scenes in movies from the 90s that were that good. Like, for the most part, it just really takes away from it. But Mortal Kombat, you know, I thought the effects were good except for, you know, the reptile effect. I hated Reptile as a character. You know, there was no reason to make him into like an actual computer-generated dragon that only later turns into a person. You know, they could have just made him a person the whole time because the technology was just not there at the time, and it looks fake as hell, man. But you know, whatever. The rest of the movie, you know, as far as the effects goes, I thought it was really good. Fun fact is, okay, I need to be destroying security cameras and such. These guys are gonna kill me. Tickle, tickle, tickle. That's what it feels like with the club. I mean, anything that kills people is a good thing in this game, but sometimes you'd rather just be unarmed than to have the clob. Then again, play a level and the only gun you have at your disposal is a clob, and you'll be happy to have it. So in that aspect, I guess you should learn to accept, learn to appreciate the things that you have. Don't know what you got till it's gone. Oh, I'm gonna die. But another thing I love about Mortal Kombat is it had just the right amount of cheese to it. Because, the story is just not, batty as hell. It doesn't make any sense outside of the, context of Mortal Kombat. But, whatever, as kids, we didn't care. Whatever got us from point A to point B of people kicking each other's asses, that's all we cared about. But, with a story like what there is in Mortal Kombat, you can't take it too seriously. There has to be just a little bit of that cheese factor in it. And I thought Mortal Kombat, the movie, got it perfect. Now, Mortal Kombat Annihilation, the sequel, they just missed the mark completely. The way I see it, unless you're the type of person who thinks that the Crow City of Angels was better than the Crow, you're probably not gonna like Mortal Kombat Annihilation. It's just awful. It's, it's like bad food. It doesn't nourish the body or the soul, and after you watch it, you feel like you've just shortened your life. I decided to try out a new outfit today. Got the black fedora, new mask, purple bow tie. Well, now everyone knows I'm here. I'm seriously about to die. And black t-shirt. I don't know if you can tell, but it's a Star Wars t-shirt because I'm mad hyped for the new Star Wars movie coming out in December, or by the time you see this video, later this month. What I'm trying to do with this whole changing costume thing is I'm trying to create characters in an organic way. By playing around with these costume choices, I get to see what works for me as far as acting wise, what works for me as far as visual wise. When I go back and watch the videos later, I get to see what looks good, what doesn't look good, and just kind of go from there. I went in a different direction this time. I've been reusing a lot of the same outfits in the past because of the fact that I like the way they're working. And I create characters, or I adapt characters that are already created based on that. Man, I am so lost. I think I'm back at the beginning. Yeah. But like the first character that I actually started developing, The first character that I actually developed from the Gossipin' Games sessions was Ninja Gangsta, where I had the two bandanas and the ponytail braid thingy with a purple collared shirt. You know, that was my Ninja Gangsta character, who plays alongside another character that I'm developing called the Ninja Pirate. So there's that. And then I have the character that wears the fedora, has the green facial hair and the purple mask. I'm still working on a name for that character, but it's one of my favorite looks that I've currently got going. And you know, sometimes things work like that, and then other times it doesn't. Like, I personally am not a fan of the makeup design that I did for the Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle session, but I think that the idea has potential. But as far as looks go, that's probably my least favorite. Of course, there was the one where I was in a hurry and I did the Yoda hat, and I don't remember, I was probably wearing a purple shirt, but I remember I had the Yoda hat, and it was my simplest costume change that I ever done for the show. I think that has potential too, but it didn't look, on camera, it didn't look the way I wanted it to, so I decided to kind of go in a different direction. I'm a big fan of Flash. I like Flash. I don't care for substance as much as I like Flash. You know, lights and bright colors, I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. And I'm easily distracted by bright, shiny objects. I admit it. You know, it's not necessarily a bad thing in my opinion unless I let it become a bad thing. So I make sure I accommodate the Flash and the bright shiny objects, but I do want to deliver on the substance part too, so that's something that I definitely feel like I have to continually step up. You know, I want it to be flashy, but I want it to be substantial as well. And with that, I think I am going to call that a wrap on the Goldeneye session. So thank you for watching, and catch you next time.